Tuesday, which means that it's time for another live Q&A all about eBay and Amazon dropshipping. I'm your host, Paul, from dropshippingtitans.com, which is a website where I teach you how to dropship onto eBay. But here, I'm here to answer all your questions for free. If you're here in the live stream, feel free to ask your questions right now, and I'll answer them for you live. If you're watching this on replay, make sure to leave your question in the comments section of any of my videos, and I'll answer them during my next live Q&A, which I do every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. here on the YouTube channel. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, if you guys haven't heard about it already, is that I'm having a Dropshipping Titans meetup here in New York City on September 22nd. I announced this a couple weeks ago. So this is going to happen this Saturday. Today is the 18th. And if you want more information about that, the link is the first link underneath this video, but here's the link. It's just dropshippingtitans.com/P/meet. And that's going to show you where it is, but it's happening here in New York City on September 22nd, and it is completely free. So you can come even if you are not a member of the course, and you can come even if this is your first time, or if you're not a dropshipper, or if you've dropshipped before, or if you're another type of e-com seller. We can do that for you as well. You guys can come as well. So if you guys can see me, let me know. Just say, I can see you, I can hear you. I want to make sure this is working correctly for everyone. And I'm really excited about this meetup because what's going to happen in it is that this is going to be a great chance for you to meet other people. Just give me 1 second here. I'm not sure if this is working, if you guys can see me. Give me 1 second, guys. Somebody said great hair, so obviously you guys can see me. I might have messed something up. I hope everyone's inside the right chat here. But what's going on is that this is a really great opportunity for anyone who's interested in eBay dropshipping or who has done it before. Just give me 1 second. It looks like I'm not really sure what's going on here. Like I have 2 live streams going on or something right now. But there are 63 people in here, so I think most of you have figured it out. I'm not sure if I messed something up here, so if I did, I apologize if other people are inside the other one and missing the other live stream, or this one rather. Anyway, let's just continue. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with this mastermind, because what I'm really with this meetup, because this is really a great chance for you guys to meet each other, connect with other dropshippers, potentially form up a mastermind. I've been to these in the past with other dropshippers, and I gotta say, it is a real game changer. This is what really motivated me to do really well with this business. And the reason for that is you get to see other successful dropshippers in person. It really puts like a real face to the experience, and just going there, connecting with these people, it kind of felt like I had more skin in the game. It made it feel more realistic to me and more possible to me. So after I did that, it really motivated me. And so that's why I'm really excited to finally have this meetup for you guys, and for me to get a chance to meet you, all of you. Like I said, you don't have to be a student of Dropshipping Titans to come. Anyone is welcome, even if you haven't even gotten started. This will not only be a chance to talk to people and get some new information, I'll also be doing a little bit of talking during it, giving you guys some insights about what I'll be doing for the rest of the year and what I think you should be doing for the rest of the year. But really, it's more of a chance to network. And that's really the key here, the key reason I'm doing this. Being in this little world of dropshipping can actually be pretty lonely in a way, because our family doesn't understand it, our friends don't understand it, so it can feel really isolating. And we talk to these people online, or we come onto these YouTube live streams, and it's a way to connect with the other people, but it's nothing like getting that face-to-face interaction in person, which is why I'm really excited by this meetup happening this week. So if you guys don't want to miss it, make sure to click the first link underneath this video, or go to this website. and that's your chance to get the meetup. Now, if you're watching this later and the meetup is over, or if you don't have a chance to make it this time, after this meetup's over, if you still go to this link, I'll have a sign up list in case you're interested in a future one. Sign up on that page there, and then when I have another one in the future, I'll email you letting you know about it. My hope is that if I travel to different parts of the world or different parts of the country and I have time, I can host little meetups there, hopefully with the help of one of you guys who knows like the area a little better than I do. That's the goal, and hopefully we can see that happen depending on how many people come out for this meetup. Now, of course, I have plenty of time now to answer any questions you guys have about eBay or Amazon dropshipping. So let's see what's going on. I already have Danny Ramirez dropping a $5.99 super chat, and then Tyler coming back with a $9.99 super chat. So, this video is sponsored by Danny and Dropship Tyler. So thank you guys for the super chats right there. Oh, actually, another super chat from Tyler for $4.99. He wants a couch to sleep on. Yeah, we do have a couch here. All right, so let me scroll up and see any questions people have. Thomas wants a meetup in Florida. Let's see. All right. Everyone says the video is working. All right. So yeah, it looks like I messed up the live stream, so I do apologize for that. And I'm sure someone told everyone to come over here, so thank you. I'll make sure it doesn't happen next week. So I had a question from Mud. That's somebody's name on YouTube named Mud. They said, what's the proper way to have your eBay buyer return an item to Amazon? How do you transfer the Amazon return label to your buyer? Oh, so this is pretty easy to do. All you're going to do is, the buyer is going to open up a return case on eBay. And there's been some recent updates on returns on eBay recently. So I'll be releasing a video later this week all about that. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you do subscribe to the channel or come back later this week for updates on eBay returns. But in general, they're going to open up a return, and you're going to turn around to Amazon and start a return with Amazon for that same product. Once Amazon gives you the return label, you're going to save it to your desktop as not as a PDF, but as a PNF or a GIF, I think. It has to be a picture. Then you can upload that to eBay to the return case or send it directly. Well, you should send it through the return case, but if for some reason you can't, you send it as a message to the buyer and just attach it there. They have the label. Make sure to copy down the tracking number and Amazon will email you as soon as it's returned, but I always like to save the tracking number anyway. That's really all there is to it. Yeah. So someone's asking about Black Friday and what we should do for Black Friday, and stay tuned because I'll be making like a whole video about Q4 and Black Friday soon. All right. Okay, so another question this week from one of my students, Lucas. Lucas says, I have a small problem. Home Depot sent the wrong item to my buyer. This buyer is now waiting for the correct product, but he wants to buy this wrong item. Okay, so the wrong item was sent to the buyer, and now the buyer wants the correct item, but they also want to keep the wrong item. So what should you do? So what you can do, and I've actually called eBay and they said I could do this, is to send a PayPal invoice to the buyer. And even though this is technically creating a sale that is outside of eBay, and eBay doesn't want you to do that. For some reason, eBay said it was okay. I don't know if it was just a rep that didn't understand the rules, but that's what they told me I could do. Now, if you're uncomfortable with that, because again, eBay doesn't want you conducting a sale without them involved, because then they don't get their fees, what you could do is now just have the buyer buy another item that's a similar cost or the same cost. And then for that item, you upload the tracking number for the item they were, when you ship out the new item, when Home Depot ships out the new item, just upload that tracking number so you do have a valid tracking number. That way the sale has gone through eBay. Even though they're not going to get the item that they technically bought for that second one, they're still happy because they got both the items that they want, if that makes sense. Let's see. So Danny with another $10 super chat. So thank you guys. It's pretty funny. Okay. Oh God, you guys, Dropship Tyler and Danny are just going at it in the live chat. Okay, so another student of mine, A-Line, had a question. No, I answered that one. So Ryan asked a question. So no, Ryan said that TrackerBot, he said, update, TrackerBot is seriously amazing. And I'm glad he said that because TrackerBot's just a software I love. It automatically uploads tracking numbers from Gmail into eBay, which really saves you so much time and energy. So I do have a link, affiliate link to that underneath this video. But I'm really glad you like it because I love that software so much. Bamboo Scar asked me, can you dropship from Nike.com? And I've gone over this before, and whenever you're looking at a new supplier, you always want to test them out first. See if other people are drop shipping from that supplier. See, buy a product from their website, ship it to your home, see what kind of box it comes in, see if there's an invoice included, see what the handling time is, the shipping time, what it's like to return the item. These are all things you want to do with a new supplier. Now, I personally would not try drop shipping from Nike.com because that is a brand. And a brand like Nike is really protective of their brand. And it's not like this is like a Walmart where you can buy a ton of different brands or no brand items. This is a specific brand selling their specific item on their own website. And they're very protective of their brand. So I would stay away from that personally, if it's just to avoid any sort of VeRO trouble or anything like that. Okay, so Dusty is asking about eBay suspending people's accounts because they want proof of purchased items. So this happens sometimes as a new seller, especially if you quickly get a lot of sales. eBay just wants to make sure that you are a legitimate person and legitimate seller. Usually they ask for things like a photo ID or a utility bill to make sure that you're at the address you say you're at. And sometimes they ask for proof of purchased items. Now, you don't have to tell them you're a drop shipper. You could just say you bought these items online, and then once you got them, you realize you didn't want them, and you're selling them now on eBay. Or you could say you buy a lot of items online, and then mark them up and sell them for more on eBay. They don't have to know that they're being drop shipped. So for that reason, you can just give them invoices from your supplier or receipts from your suppliers. Okay. Yeah, I know, really. Danny and Tyler are just gonna... I'm gonna have to pay you guys back for this one. All right. each item have its own. Zane's asking a question, but I'm not sure what you mean. So excuse me, Paul. Does the feedback given to you as a seller or each item have its own feedback? Thanks a lot. Oh, I understand. So you have feedback as a seller, and this is left based on the transaction, whether the buyer liked the transaction, whether they didn't, things like that. You can also leave a review of the item itself. Most people, I don't think, know that. I think reviews are a lot more popular on Amazon than they are on eBay, but they do happen on eBay as well. So maybe that answers your question there. You don't really care about, I personally don't really care about reviews of the product so much. I really focus more on feedback. That's more important for me on eBay than the reviews of the product itself. Okay, so Benny is asking a great question, something that I was really worried about when I started using virtual assistants myself. If you guys don't know, I use virtual assistants to run my eBay stores, and what they do is they log in, they do customer service, they place orders, they basically handle everything for me. Now, my fear was that they would log in from these IP addresses in the Philippines, from India, and that eBay would somehow flag my account about it. But it honestly never happened. They log in every day from all over the world, and I've never had a problem. I think eBay must realize that, we have this is an international company or international marketplace, and that people sell from all over the world. So it hasn't been a problem for me, even though they do log in multiple times a day from different countries. Now, on the other hand, some suppliers, like Home Depot, for instance, won't let you shop on their website if you are not physically located in the United States. So you have an IP address here in the United States. So what you can do in that case is get a VPN. The one I use is CyberGhost, and that one will allow you to, it's called VPN, stands for Virtual Private Network. It basically tricks Home Depot into thinking that you're inside the United States even when you're not. So that will allow them to shop on Home Depot. Yeah, so that pretty much answers that question. Yeah. Theo is saying, I remind him of Jason Mraz. That was, my wedding song was a Jason Mraz song. Okay, so someone's asking how I keep track of profit for taxes. So when I originally started on eBay, and now that we're starting to go really heavy with dropshipping on Amazon, we're doing this with Amazon, but we don't do it with eBay anymore because their sales are just too high to do it. But what we do is keep a spreadsheet. One column has the sell price, then it has eBay fee, PayPal fee, and then the price of the item the price that we paid for the item on the source's website. And then you obviously do the math, and that's your profit. And you keep track of all of that, so you can show your accountant, your CPA, this is how much money I took in, but we had fees for eBay, fees for PayPal, cost of goods sold, and really this is how much profit we made after all of that. Then obviously you keep track of everything else. I kept track of everything else, like cash back, and stuff, and cash back for my credit cards and all the expenses for the different listers and repricers and VAs and all that stuff, and gave all that to my CPA. Now it's just too much volume to do that on eBay. So what I do is I just download credit card statements, and that shows the total amount that I spent on each card. It's pretty easy to sort through those on Excel or with a Google Sheet. And I'll know that all the Home Depot purchases are cost of goods sold, all the Walmart purchases are cost of goods sold, all the Amazon purchases are cost of goods sold, and everything else is another expense, and And because they're pretty much the same expenses every month, it's pretty easy to go through it like that. With Amazon, we are keeping track now of profit on a daily basis, so that we know which items are making a profit, which ones aren't, because we are really trying to streamline and maximize our profit and sales on Amazon, just like we did on eBay. Okay. So let's see another question I had this week. Okay, so iRivus asked a question saying, what do I do if I order an item, have it shipped to my house, and then I list it? How do you do that with shipping? So that's not drop shipping, what you're doing there. That is just another type of arbitrage. Probably something like online arbitrage would be the best name for it. Well, that is what it is, online arbitrage. And that's when you order an item off a website for a low price and either ship it to your home or to, let's say, Amazon FBA, and then sell it at a higher price later on. That's different than what I'm doing, which is eBay drop shipping or Amazon drop shipping, which is where I'm selling items I don't have in stock, I haven't bought them yet. Then once they sell, then I have them shipped to the customers. And the great thing about that is that I don't have to worry about shipping. The supplier is taking care of all the shipping charges and all the shipping problems and everything, the whole logistics of shipping they handle, which is one of the great things about it. I do know that with online arbitrage, there are ways to kind of streamline that, make it similar to eBay dropshipping or Amazon dropshipping, because you can order the products from one website and have them shipped to a pack center, and that center will repackage the items and then send them to Amazon FBA. Then Amazon FBA kind of handles all the order fulfillment for you. So just different business models, and one's not better than the other. People use both at the same time with great success. So it really depends on what you want to do. But I don't really know much about shipping for that reason. And everyday videos, one of my subscribers on YouTube asked a question saying, does AliExpress have any cash back? And yeah, so what you want to do is, my number one resource for this is cashbackmonitor.com. Just go to that website and search for AliExpress, and it's going to tell you which cashback websites are going to pay out the most for AliExpress. And that's really all you have to do for that. For any online retailer that you want to drop ship from, you should go to Cashback Monitor and see which ones will pay you out the most for it. Yeah, so Martin's saying that he's drop shipping on eBay. He's getting about 13% profit after all fees and cashback. Is at a good margin. He's running sponsored listings at 1%. So it sounds like he's doing exactly what I mentioned in one of my prior videos. And yeah, that's a good profit margin. That's really, really strong profit margin right there. Okay. Okay, so Frank the White says that he shipped an item through eBay's global shipping program. If you guys don't know what the global shipping program is, it's sometimes called the GSP for short. And that's where you ship, or a buyer from another country buys the item from you. Then, once it sells, you ship it to eBay's facility in Erlanger, Kentucky, and eBay will actually forward the item along to the customer at no extra cost to you, no extra hassle to you. So it makes it really easy. But obviously, some problems arise. So the item arrives in Kentucky fine, but then it's damaged on the way to the buyer in the other country. Who's responsible for that? Well, in that case, eBay would be responsible. So in this case, Frank's saying that the item arrived to the customer, the box was not damaged, but it looks like it was repackaged and missing parts. What would you do here? So eBay does sometimes repackage the item for different reasons, depending on the size. I'm not 100% certain why they do it. It probably has something to do with shipping restrictions overseas. Sometimes they do repackage it. If they repackaged it and there's items missing, then that's eBay's fault. So you should call eBay, let them know what happened, let them know that the customer told you that it looked like it had been repackaged and that it wasn't in the original box, and eBay should cover this sale for you. They'll probably refund the buyer at no cost to you. So someone's asking here what you should do with your eBay store when you go out of town for a week and don't have access to a computer and don't have VAs to do the work either. So first, hire VAs because they're great and it will allow you to go on vacation even if you don't have internet connection. Actually spent a week on a sailboat, didn't have internet connection for almost the whole trip except for one night, but my VAs ran the entire business for me while I was on vacation. So that was pretty awesome. But if you don't have that luxury right now, then there's a couple different things you can do. And I'm not the greatest person to ask because I've never been in this position because I've always had VAs for a while. But I do know some people put their store on vacation mode. And that's something you can do inside eBay. Now, the problem with vacation mode is that any orders that were placed before you went on vacation mode still have to be processed. And you still have to upload tracking numbers. And they still expect you to do customer service. So I know some people put on vacation mode a week before they're going to go away. But now that's pretty much 2 weeks where you're going to get no or almost no sales. So that's a huge inconvenience and a huge burden right there. I know other people, and I've also heard from people that once you come off vacation mode, it's harder to get your store going again. You kind of lose momentum doing that. I've heard other people that they will just increase the handling time for their items without putting on vacation mode. And I think that works for probably like shorter trips that aren't too short, like maybe like 4 or 5 days or something like that. If it's just a long weekend, you can do nothing and then just spend Sunday night or early Monday morning just catching up as fast as you can on all your orders and all the customer service and everything, because you do get that buffer of the weekend to kind of hold you over while you're away. But for a whole week, that's a little bit tough. You might want to consider the VAs or increase your handling times, what I would do. So Behind the Killers is saying, would you use Groupon as a source? So again, you would want to test any source, but again, this is not a source that I would use. Groupon is really more of like a quick limited deal, right? They usually have limited number of offers available, limited number of products. So it's not really reliable for that item. It's going to go out of stock really quickly. Now, again, I was talking before about online arbitrage. You might want to buy some items through Groupon, have them shipped to your home or to Amazon FBA Pack Center, and then eventually onto Amazon FBA, and kind of use that as a source for online arbitrage. That might be a better option. But my guess is that Groupon also limits the number of items that you can buy as well. So I'm going to retract that. I don't think it's a good source for any of this, but I could be wrong. I don't do online arbitrage. Okay. Okay, so Pixel Pascal asks a good question about Amazon dropshipping. Asks, I don't understand how it's possible to dropship onto Amazon. When you sell an item on Amazon, don't they want you to ship the items to Amazon's warehouse first? So What you're thinking of is Amazon FBA, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. That's when you take an item that you have your physical control of, and you ship it to Amazon's warehouse. They hold on to it. Then once it sells on Amazon.com, the Amazon warehouse ships it out to the customer, usually with 2-day prime shipping, which helps it sell better. Plus, you don't have to handle all that. You just got to get the item to Amazon, and they take care of the rest. That's different than drop shipping, because with drop shipping, you're doing something called fulfilled by merchant. And you see this all this time. There are plenty of people selling on Amazon without using Amazon FBA. So they have their own warehouse or their own items, and once the item sells, they ship it out themselves, just like you would if you sold some junk you had on eBay. You just ship the item out yourself. Instead of shipping the item out ourselves, though, we're using a third-party supplier like Walmart, Home Depot, to get the item over to the customer that bought the item from Amazon.com. Yeah, so Truth World is saying, if an item that I'm selling is constantly getting refunded or a lot of negative feedback, should I just end that listing as soon as possible? Yeah, that's a good idea. You'll see that sometimes. You can kind of get a heads up about this sometimes when you're going to list the item, and on the source's website, you see that it only has like 2 stars or 1 star. Then you know it's probably a bad product. There's something wrong with it. But if you start to sell it anyway, or there's no reviews before you list it up, and people keep saying, oh, this is coming without all the parts, or it keeps coming damaged, or it's just a completely different color, then chances are there's something wrong with that item. You probably want to delete it from your store. Clay, one of my subscribers, asked, how are virtual assistants supposed to do Walmart returns? So in other words, someone buys an item from you from eBay, you buy it from Walmart, ship it to the customer. Now the customer wants to return it. And you're having VAs run your store. So how is a VA supposed to do a return from Walmart when they have to call into the United States to do that? So you can open up a chat with Walmart. I think I answered this question last week. You can open up a chat with Walmart and just start the return through that chat. You actually don't even have to open the chat. You can start a return directly inside your account on Walmart. And believe it or not, there are plenty of virtual assistants who can call the United States. So Fabian is asking about auto returns, saying that now eBay is automatically approving returns. How do we deal with this? So I'm going to be making a video about this later this week. So if you don't want to miss that, just come back later this week or subscribe to the channel. And that video should hopefully be live before the weekend. Okay. So Truth World wants to know if you have to use gift cards on Walmart and Home Depot, and if you don't use gift cards, will they cancel your orders? So not necessarily. This really depends on different people. Some people are able to buy items from Walmart.com and HomeDepot.com with their credit cards or with PayPal and have no issues with that at all. Other people, especially with Walmart, will see a lot of their orders being canceled, especially with a credit card. And so I've found that when that happens, if you use PayPal or you use gift cards, it happens much less. Now with Home Depot, I've never had problems paying with PayPal. I've never had problems paying with gift cards. I sometimes have weird issues with credit cards. And at first, some of my orders were not processing. Then they started to work, and I haven't had a problem with them going through, the orders going through. But I noticed that when I use credit cards on Home Depot's website, I would enter my own address as a billing address, and obviously the buyer's shipping address for the shipping addresses. But then sometimes the shipping address would change to my address, the billing address. And I know people have had the same problem, and they've been able to fix it by trying a different browser like Safari or Internet Explorer, or clearing your cache and cookies. But no matter what I tried, it kept happening. And I found that it didn't happen when I used gift cards. So that's one of the main reasons that I use gift cards for my Home Depot orders. Okay, so Joseph is saying that he listed an item on eBay and eBay keeps removing it, but he sees other people listing that item. How can he list it without it being removed? So first of all, say if eBay has removed a listing and they tell you that it's something because of VeRO or copyright or trademark, I would not relist that item. I would not play that game with them. They told you they don't want that item listed, so you should not be listing that item, in my opinion. Just because you see other people doing it doesn't mean it's allowed. It just means they've somehow escaped the attention so far. But how do other people do it? Some people just get lucky. Other people might remove the brand name or a UPC or a model number. Only time will tell whether they will eventually get caught and whether those items will eventually get removed. I have noticed that as we are implementing the eBay catalog more and more, a lot of these items that are VeRO, that are inside the VeRO program, that we've gotten away with in the past having listed, are being removed more and more, is what I found. So Funny Vine Base says, which one is better for a supplier, Amazon or AliExpress? And I'll say that they're really, really different. So Amazon, the benefit is that they are a US supplier. So they're going to ship their items out quickly, especially if you use Prime, quickly. And it's going to come from a US warehouse, so it's going to get to the item, to get to the customer really quickly, within 2 days. They also have great customer service, tons of items, as you can imagine. So lots to really love about them. But a lot of people are using Amazon, so the competition is, much higher. With AliExpress, there might be less competition, although the competition is growing for AliExpress. But the drawback is that a lot of these items are coming from China. Or another country, so it takes longer for the customer to get the items, which eBay doesn't like and customers don't always like either. So that's why I usually stick with US suppliers myself. Okay. So Kevin is asking if my VAs have access to my eBay account or only through software set up for VA use. So at first, my VAs, my virtual assistants, only had access to certain software, and that software would allow them to work on my eBay store in different ways. As time went on, of course, they have, as I've gained trust with some of them I have given access to my eBay store, but not all of them. Just the ones that have been around for a while and I really trust. At this point, it's really not an issue with them. Okay. Yeah, so Mr. MT118 is asking if I use a password manager for my virtual assistants, so I don't have to give them direct access. So I was going to make a video about this, but I don't know if I might still make the video eventually. But the software, the password manager I use is called LastPass, LASTPASS. It's a Chrome extension. It's free. There is a paid version, and the paid version is really cheap. I think it's $2 a month, or you have to pay $24 up front for the year. I don't even know what the paid version includes because I think I still use the free version, which is pretty robust in itself. So basically what it does is you remember one password, which is your password to log into LastPass. That's why it's called LastPass. It's the last password you have to remember. After that, LastPass will save all your passwords for all your different websites, and it will also, when you sign up for a new website, it will recommend a password for you that's really secure. You can also use that suggestion tool for websites you already have, because as we know, you shouldn't be using the same password for all your different accounts. That's something I've definitely done in the past, but it's definitely not a good idea. So LastPass, prevents that from happening. It's super secure and encrypted and all that stuff. And so once you log in to the Chrome extension, every time you log into your browser, it will automatically fill the field with the password when you're trying to log in to your website, whether that's eBay, PayPal, or whatever you're using it for. And another benefit of it is that you can share that password with someone else. So let's say my VA, they'll set up their own LastPass account, and I will share access for, let's say, eBay with that virtual assistant. Now, they'll open up LastPass, and they'll see that I'm sharing it with them, but they won't be able to see the password. And then when they go to eBay, LastPass will automatically fill in the username and password. In theory, this is really great, and I do use it because it just helps keep things organized. But in practice, it doesn't actually work, because what happens is, how when you're using Google Chrome, it will also automatically save your password if you want it to. Well, if you use LastPass, your VA uses LastPass to fill in the password on eBay.com, let's say, then Google Chrome is going to ask you, do you want to save this password? If you click yes, the VA will now be able to see the password. So there are ways around it that they can see your password, but it at least helps. And like I said, the main reason I use it is because it really helps keep things organized. I can go into LastPass and see, okay, this VA has all these passwords, and this VA has all these passwords. And if I ever fire this VA, I know that these are all the passwords that I have to revoke, which you can do in LastPass, and then change the password if that's something I'm worried about. And then once I change the password, it will automatically send the password to all my other VAs who need it, which is really helpful as well. Okay, so Monday is asking about negative feedback they received, saying the customer wasn't happy with the item. They sold glow-in-the-dark pebbles, but the buyer left a negative feedback because the pebbles don't glow that well. This is something that always annoys me with eBay, because feedback that you get as a seller should really be is really designed to be about the experience the buyer had interacting with you. Did you communicate well? Did you ship the item out quickly? Was the follow-up good when they complained about the item? All these things. So when a buyer leaves negative feedback about an item, saying they didn't like the item, I don't think it deserves a spot inside feedback. I think they should be writing a review about the product. Now, certainly, if you refuse to return the item or gave them a hard time about it, that's different. Then you would deserve negative feedback for that. Now, in the past, eBay has agreed with me on this, but now it seems like they don't agree so much on it, and they won't remove it for that reason when I've called about it. So what I suggest is that you contact the buyer, let them know that you're willing to do anything it takes to satisfy them. Don't say you'll do whatever it takes to get them to remove the feedback. Just say you'll do whatever it takes to make this right. Then once that's settled, maybe you get a return, maybe you give them a refund or a partial refund. Then contact them again and say, hey, would you consider revising this? This feedback I'm a small company and this is really important to me as a seller. And hopefully that will work. Okay. JJH Logistics is asking if I'm going to be making more videos about Amazon dropshipping. Yeah, I've already made a couple. And as I'm learning new stuff, I'll certainly be making videos. And of course, during the live chat, I'm happy to answer any questions that I can about Amazon dropshipping. So BRQNX, not sure how to pronounce that, but you're asking me, I forgot I can do this. You're asking, has anyone been able to reload a Home Depot gift card recently? It seems they are blocking gift card reloads. This is happening for some people, but not everyone. And there's different ways you might be able to deal with this. I've given some suggestions to some people. So what you could try doing is trying a different credit card or a debit card if you have that. That would be my first suggestion. Then if that doesn't work, go to a website called privacy.com, and that allows you to create burner credit cards, basically. And you don't even need to use your real billing address when you use those fake credit cards. And they're not fake. They're like, it links up with your bank account. So it draws the money from your bank account, but it gives you a credit card number that you can use. The thought being that, we're all shopping online. Sometimes we buy something from like a sketchy website. We don't want to give them our real credit card. So we use these burner cards that are only good for like certain websites, let's say. So you can use that, and that might work for Home Depot. And I had another idea, but I just slipped my mind. If I remember, I'll come back to it. So Peter's asking how you dropship on Amazon. If you're already dropshipping on eBay, then you understand the concept of it. Now, what we're discovering with Amazon is that it's much, much harder. It is really a beast of a company to sell on because they're really strict with their metrics. They really want the buyer experience to be outstanding. So they always side with the buyer. And you have to know that going into it. You have to know how to play their game. And even now I get in a little bit of trouble because I'm like, oh no, this is no problem. And then like something happens and I'm like, oh, this is no problem. And I'm like, wait, no, this isn't eBay. This is Amazon. Things are much different on Amazon. And Amazon's not going to side with me as a seller as much as eBay does. So that's just something you keep in mind. So Danny is asking how VAs can answer messages without accessing my eBay account. DSM tool seems a bit complicated to view notes we use to go back and see if the order was shipped or if the item was out of stock. I've found that DSM tool works really well for answering customer questions. It's not the one I use, but I've used it in the past, and I think it works pretty well for answering customer questions. The one I use, and there should be a link to it underneath this video, probably like the last link underneath this video, is called Reply Manager. And that does cost money. And the reason I like that one is because anytime you get a message from a customer, it creates a ticket. So you can see all the messages, just like you can with Gmail when it gives conversation view. It gives you all the messages you'll get, you've gotten from that customer in the past, all the items they purchase, any returns, any feedback, can all be shown in that thread. And if you have virtual assistants, it will tell you which virtual assistant had been speaking with that customer, and the virtual assistant can stay on that ticket, which is just a conversation with that buyer, so that they can follow up with them later, and you can remind yourself, you can set a reminder so it comes back to you. I find it really, really helpful. It really helps keep things organized. And if a VA messes up, I know which one messed up because it tells me. I'm not sure what you mean by view notes, because with Reply Manager, it will show you all the order information in there. So I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there, Danny. Yeah, Truth World is saying, if a buyer requests that you cancel an order shortly after they purchase it on eBay, do you cancel it? Usually we do, if we catch it. Now, you are under no obligation to cancel the order. And if the buyer complains about it or tries to leave you negative feedback for it, eBay will side with you. With that said, chances are what's going to happen is you ship the item, it arrives, and then the customer decides they don't want it, and they're going to return it. Or they're going to refuse delivery, and it's going to be returned anyway. So to save yourself some hassle there, I would just suggest that you cancel the order as requested. So if you're drop shipping on Amazon, Amazon wants tracking numbers really quickly. How are you supposed to do that if your supplier doesn't ship out the item that quickly? So you have to increase your handling time for that item, Peter. You are allowed to, you can do that on Amazon, and as a drop shipper, you should be increasing your handling time for these items. So Brand is asking what method I use to find drop shippers on eBay, and I have a free course, a mini course about eBay drop shipping, and that should be the first link or the second link underneath this video. Maybe it's the third link, I'm not sure. But that will tell you that you can sign up, and inside that free mini course, I show you exactly how I do it. Okay, excellent question here. So I got a question here from Mario. Says, for the global shipping program orders, how does eBay know where the item goes? So, because, great question, because all these items are being shipped to the same address, 1850 Airport Exchange Boulevard, Erlanger, Kentucky. And so if they're all going to the same address, how does eBay know where to ship the item? So they look at two things. First is the reference number. Every GSP order is going to have its unique reference number, and you have to put that reference number on the outside of the package. And the way you do that as a dropshipper is when you buy the item from your source's website, like Walmart, in the first address line, you put in the reference number. The second thing to look at is the tracking number. So you do want to make sure you upload an accurate tracking number for each GSP order. And that's the way that it basically gets done. Okay. So I'm kind of near the top of all these questions, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit to catch up. Okay, so let me get rid of this. Okay, so Lola is asking why I haven't tried Amazon FBA yet. It's just because I don't know. I started doing drop shipping on eBay and was really good at it, and so I just said I'm going to keep doing what's working. And then from there, I just wanted to pivot. So I started to do drop shipping onto Amazon. It was just a logical next thing to do. After this, once I get a hang of Amazon, maybe I'll start to want to do FBA after that, but we'll see. So I have about 5 minutes left. So I'll let you guys know now that if you're liking this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. If you don't want to miss the next video, make sure that you do hit that bell notification once you subscribe to the channel. But like I said, I do have like 4 or 5 minutes left, so I will answer as many questions as I can in these last 5 minutes for you guys. So Mr. Medina says, how do you keep track of your sources? I use my listing and repricing tool, like DSM tool, that will automatically let you know what the source is for each item when it is purchased. Robin says, what sorts of items would you recommend for a first-time dropshipper? I recommend that you list cheaper items, preferably items under $30, but definitely under $40. Make sure to list those items, and keep your margins low. You just want to generate sales at first. You just want to get the momentum going and learn how the system works. So Nameless One, it doesn't like the eBay's VeRO program. Does the same thing happen on Amazon? Yes, and it's actually worse on Amazon because if you're listing some brands and you get caught doing that, they might suspend your, as far as I know, they might suspend your account, and it's much harder to get it reinstated. Catherine says, does Amazon get suspicious when you start shipping when you drop shipping on eBay and suddenly shipping all these different items to different people? Nope. A lot of people use Amazon for that reason and haven't gotten in trouble for doing it. DA is asking if there's any other price trackers besides the DSM tool, and there are plenty of them out there. If you're just looking for a few suppliers, you might want to check out AutoDS tool, and I'll be talking about a couple of more in the future. So TNC Brand says, do you recommend doing drop shipping yourself first before moving to a virtual assistant? Assuming we have your VA course. Excellent. So I do recommend that you learn the whole system yourself. You can't outsource something that you don't understand yourself. And you can't outsource something if you don't even know what the system is or how you want it done. So I do recommend you learn it yourself, you do it yourself for a while, and then outsource when it feels right and when you really feel like you understand it. So Benny says, when you want to pay your VAs, do you pay them through PayPal or do you use another payment method? I do pay them through PayPal. I know that there's cheaper ways to do it because when you pay a VA through PayPal, one's living in another country, it does cost money to send the money overseas like that. But I only pay them twice a month, and I send a lot of my money to one VA who sends the money to the other VAs. So what is the best course you offer to begin dropshipping? If you're brand new, it depends how serious you are about this business. If you're brand new, you're not really sure what dropshipping is, you just kind of want to get basic understanding of it, I do have the free course available underneath this video, and you can check that out completely free, no credit card required, no obligation there to just check out that free course. And that's really the best place to start. If you're much more serious about this and you're really serious and you want to get started today with all the information, then I do have the paid course, dropshippingtitans.com. There's also a link to that underneath the video. But if you're brand new and still not sure, check out the free course, see if it's for you, and see if it's something that you feel comfortable in. Okay, so that about wraps it up. Those are all the questions. I tried to go through as many as I could there in the last 5 minutes. So I wanted to thank you all for coming out. I'm sorry again for all of you who are here live, and I kind of screwed up the live stream in the beginning. I promise it won't happen next time. And if you do want to join us for the next live Q&A, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Then hit that bell notification. That's going to alert you as soon as I go live. And while you're at it, I would really appreciate it if you would give the video a thumbs up. It really does help a lot. So thanks guys so much for watching this week, and I'll see you next week during the next live Q&A.